CNN is the place where both sides can watch. And
I'm talking about the people on CNN. And what I know what the conservative side of America thinks, and I don't blame them. They were just gushing about how great a speech it was. And I think she did fine. I didn't think it was as good as they were making it out to be. It does look like tokenism. It's kind of like the same as The View.
I don't think that you can say that CNN is anything but fair. Everyone who was speaking last night, it's not like they were all Democrats. I mean, Dana Bash, Jake Tapper, Abby Phillip.
They come across
giving
that way.
Analysis.
They come across that way. In a moment like that, it was like 5-1. It always looks like 5.
Bill Maher pressed CNN's Caitlin Collins on whether her network is perceived as biased, sparking a broader discussion about the deep political divide in the media and its impact on public trust. He questioned whether CNN can truly be a fair and balanced source in such a polarized environment, especially when compared to Fox News. While Fox is openly conservative, Maher pointed out that it still draws viewers from across the political spectrum, including critics who tune in just to push back. The conversation also turned to how different political figures navigate the media, with Maher comparing Vice President Kamala Harris's cautious approach to former President Donald Trump's more aggressive media strategy. This raised the larger issue of whether today's news outlets are doing enough to challenge political leaders, particularly as audiences become more fragmented and selective in what they watch.
That's because you were on Stephen Colbert's show, and he said something like, you guys at CNN just report the news straight. And the crowd burst into laughter. Look, I'm on CNN now. I guess we're on it right now. I mean, they show this show the next night. I don't know how we get away with it with all the but they do. And all these dirty jokes. But I'm glad. And I'm a big rooter for CNN. But that tells you a lot, doesn't it? I mean, how do you guys think you are doing is in that arena of like, this is a terribly divided country. We're not only politicized, a lot of people just hate the other side. And CNN, in my view, should be the place where both sides can watch. How do you think you're doing with that?
How is CNN is the place where both sides can watch. And I think, my show is evidence of that. We have lawmakers on from both parties.
In this discussion, Bill Maher challenges Caitlin Collins on whether the public still sees CNN as a neutral news source. He highlights a telling moment from her appearance on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, where the audience laughed when CNN's objective reporting was mentioned on indication. Maher argues that many Americans view the network as biased. He uses this reaction to underscore growing skepticism about CNN's fairness and questions whether the network is bridging the political divide or deepening it. Collins responds by noting how audiences increasingly gravitate toward news that confirms their beliefs, pointing to Fox News as a clear example. Despite its conservative slant, Fox manages to attract a wide range of viewers, including critics making it both a prominent news source and a frequent target. CNN, which aims to occupy the political center, seems to struggle in drawing such a diverse audience. The contrast between the two networks raises a larger issue. While Fox News has carved out a space that engages both supporters and detractors, CNN may be falling short in doing the same. This reflects a broader challenge in today's fragmented media landscape, where polarization shapes not just politics, but how people consume news.
About the fact that Kamala doesn't talk to the press. In a way, I feel like it's more insulting than what Trump does. And Trump says you're the enemy of the people, which is pretty bad. What she's kind of saying is, I don't need you. I'm not talking to you. You don't matter. You're not relevant anymore. To me, that's even worse than I hate you. It's like, I don't think about you.
I don't know if it's worse than denigrating the press on a daily basis, which is what Donald Trump did. I mean, I covered him in the White House every day as a correspondent, and oftentimes to kind of shake you if you were asking him a question, he would try to get into a personal argument with you, or just deny or lie about what you were asking about. And so I don't know if I would compare the two. I do think she should talk to the press. I think anyone who wants to have access to the nuclear codes should be willing to sit down and take questions. And we'd love to have her on the show.
Bill Maher takes aim at Kamala Harris's media strategy, drawing a sharp contrast with Donald Trump's combative approach to the press. Maher argues that while Trump openly attacks the media, Harris's tendency to avoid it might be even more concerning. By sidestepping traditional interviews and press scrutiny, he suggests Harris risks appearing indifferent to accountability, a critical part of public service. This critique sparks a deeper conversation about what it means for politicians to engage with the media. CNN's Caitlin Collins pushes back, defending Harris by pointing out that she still interacts with the public through events and answers questions, even if she's less visible in formal media appearances. Their exchange opens up a broader debate about how modern politicians increasingly bypass traditional news outlets, opting instead to speak directly to voters through social media and controlled environments. While this strategy can help them shape their message, it raises important questions. Can elected leaders remain transparent and accountable if they avoid the press? And what role should the media play in ensuring that connection between politicians and the public doesn't become one-sided?
CNN is the place where both sides can watch. And
I'm talking about the people on CNN. And what I know what the conservative side of America thinks, and I don't blame them. They were just gushing about how great a speech it was. And I think she did fine. I didn't think it was as good as they were making it out to be. It does look like tokenism. It's kind of like the same as The View.
I don't think that you can say that CNN is anything but fair. Everyone who was speaking last night, it's not like they were all Democrats. I mean, Dana Bash, Jake Tapper, Abby Phillip.
They come across
giving
that way.
Analysis.
They come across that way. In a moment like that, it was like 5-1. It always looks like 5-1.
Okay, we need Joe Concha. Unfortunately, we have Joe Concha. Anything but fair. What do you say to that there, Joe?
Well, in my new book, Progressively Worse, Stu, I dedicated an entire chapter to Bill Maher, and I refer to him as the lone or one of the few voices of reason left in the Democratic Party, at least one of the few voices of reason left on television who happens to be a Democrat. The man is consistent in his arguments and with his principles. I mean, you could agree or disagree with him, but at least you know you're getting an honest perspective from Maher. And when he says conservatives do not trust CNN because it is so staunchly anti-Trump, he's not wrong, because they'll put on people like Adam Kinzinger or Anna Navarro, George Conway, and call them Republicans, or pretend that's being balanced by putting them on by saying, oh, see, these conservatives don't even like Trump. Only Scott Jennings over there can be called a conservative. And Maher is right. It's almost always 5-1 on shows they portray as news programs. And quite frankly, Stu, it's been that way for some time.
Okay, hold on a second, Joe. I'll get back to you in a moment. Kevin O'Leary is with me. Do you think CNN's fair?
I think they're trying to get fairer, and what I like about the market determined by advertising revenue, because I'm an income statement guy, if you don't find your way to the center, I don't care what network you are, you're going to lose advertisers, because they don't want a bifurcated market. If they want to sell shoes, they want to sell them to both sides of the equation. I think everybody is moving to the center, and they're doing it for money, and that makes me a big believer in how it's going to work. Because I don't think you can stay to the left, stay to the right, and make money. That's the problem. It's hard to do it now.
Bill Maher also criticizes CNN's coverage of Kamala Harris, particularly during her convention speech, arguing that the network's commentary felt rushed and overly flattering. He suggests that this kind of praise makes CNN appear biased, prioritizing Harris's image over a critical look at her political record. Maher warns that such one-sided coverage can alienate viewers who expect objective reporting, and raises the broader concern of media bias. He also brings up the financial side of journalism, noting that networks rely on advertisers who typically want to reach a wide, politically diverse audience. That pressure could, in theory, push outlets like CNN to maintain neutrality in order to keep their advertisers happy. But, as Maher points out, it's more complicated than that. Even if money encourages balance, internal newsroom biases and editorial choices still shape how stories are framed and presented. Maher's remarks underscore the difficult position media organizations face trying to report fairly without appearing overly favorable or hostile, especially when identity and politics are involved. His critique of CNN's treatment of Harris highlights the broader challenge of maintaining public trust in an era where financial interests, political narratives, and journalistic integrity are constantly in tension.